Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
Like, where's that water bottle? Are you? I guess you. Hey, Shalom, Israel. We the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Of course, this is the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class, where we teach the truth according to the Bible, where we teach the Bible from a linguistics perspective. You know what I mean? Let me put these comments up real quick. As you already know, or if you don't know, it's something that your Christian pastors have been ill-equipped to do for hundreds of years. You know what I mean? Because the Christian church, the Christian church was put in place to destroy Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Just like the police force, just like, you know what I mean, your oppressor's government system, just like everything that pertains to your oppressor and everything that they believe and everything that they teach and everything that's for lack of a better word, canon, or, you know what I mean, popular amongst your oppressor. The Christian church is just one of those tools, all right, to destroy us. That's why in the Bible, you can read in Revelations, the first chapter, that Christ is a black man. Not only is he a black man, as a matter of fact, you mind grabbing Revelations 1 and you already know it. I ain't gonna tell you. But you can read in the scriptures that Christ is not only a black man, but a very, very dark-skinned man. But in every Christian church, you can see some white man with some stringy hair and some white robe and they be having the sash, and the Christian depiction of Christ is not accurate to the Bible. Because your Christian church isn't meant to teach you the Bible. It's not meant to teach you the truth. They're not teaching you what's actually in the Bible. They're teaching you white supremacy. Go ahead, read what you got.
The book of Revelations, chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot.
One like unto the Son of Man. This is talking about Christ. Go ahead.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
So they first of all, before we get to the color of Christ, they got Christ dressed up. As a matter of fact, let me put Christ up here on the screen. Bear with me. But first of all, they got Christ wearing this white robe, this toga. You know what I mean? Let me see. I'm gonna put Jesus Christ. I ain't even gonna put no embellishments on. I'm gonna just type Jesus Christ. And of course, I ain't gotta tell you how common this is, but I'm just letting you know. I'm just gonna put Jesus Christ in Google, and it's gonna show you all manner of white people and white depictions of Christ. We share the screen right quick. Salakia. Go ahead, read that from the top, Baba Kasha.
Kana one kan. And in the midst of 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot.
All right. So when you see Jesus Christ, right, as I got shared on the screen, whenever you see Jesus Christ in the Christian church, you'll see any one of these depictions. I think this is one of the most popular depictions. You got the stringy hair, and you got the white robe with the red sash, like I described earlier, right? Let me see if I can see a full body. This one, good night. Jesus Christ. Salakia, go ahead. Salakia, being in the truth, being in the truth and seeing this Christ is hilarious now. I mean, where before this is the sick stronghold that the Christian church got on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, where you'll see this depiction of Jesus Christ, and I know you know this. You know what I mean? Every time we go to camp, you'll see we got the picture of Caesar Borgia, which is who that is. We got the picture of Caesar Borgia, and it's a an image that we show brothers and sisters who believe that this is or that is the image of Jesus Christ, and it'll be laying on the floor. We'll throw it down. We'll throw it down on the floor just to show brothers, and then sometimes it'll be laying on the floor, and we'll tell brothers, "Hey, step on it. Don't be afraid to step on it because they'll be walking on the sidewalk, and they'll be afraid." Like, you ever heard "step on a crack, make your mama back"? They'll be avoiding the picture of white Jesus like it's a, you know what I mean? Like it's the plague, you know what I mean? That image of Jesus Christ, that just shows you like how embedded in our minds as black people that image is. So where we can see a white man who, and then they doubled down on it. Not only is Christ, you know what I mean, the black man who was perfect, you know what I mean? Not only did they turn him into a white man, but they turned him into God. So they said they took his humanity from him. So not only is he not even a human, or not only is he a white man, but he's also God. So when you going to sleep at night and you praying over your food, or whenever you pray, whenever you in trouble, you know what I mean? And you pray to, because we, black people, we only pray when we're in trouble. You know what I mean? You behind on your bills, that's when you, Lord, that's when that's when we pray to the Most High. But whenever you know what I mean, when you pray to the Most High, that's the image that you see as well. But that's not even accurate. And you see how you see his clothes. Go read that from the top. Salakia, we gonna break it all the way down.
Con. And in the midst of these 7 candlesticks, and one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with the garment down to the foot.
All right, so you know what the 7 candlesticks is?
Con.
Go ahead, break it down.
Now the 7 churches.
Those, and which are what? In modern terms.
The 7 schools. Schools.
Salakia. Them were the 7 schools that I believe Paul, I can't remember whether it was Peter or Paul, but that was set up under Christ in Asia Minor, right? Go ahead.
Clothed with the garment down to the foot.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot. Now this, what you see right here, that is not a garment. That is not a priestly garment. Go ahead. And Christ wore a garment. Like, it's several scriptures in the Bible that depict Christ, you know what I mean, and the prophets wearing garments. But that is absolutely not a garment. You know what I mean, you don't see no fringes. You don't see actually, go ahead, read on.
And girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
So a girdle is it's an extra layer of protection around your midsection. Because Christ was a man of war. Like, when we go out and do what we do, you know what I mean? When we teach classes, when we go to camp, when we do what we do and say what we say, we know that it could cost us our lives, because we going against the you know what I mean? We going against what's common not only to Americans, not only to our oppressors' government, and to the police force, and to the military, and to every other nation that's not Black, Hispanic, and Native American, but we're going against the common ideals of, our own people. And when you start to challenge brothers and sisters, I just had the word. But when you start to challenge what's common, the common beliefs of society, you could lose your life. This is like what we do is not a game. So when we go out, that's why you see us wearing, the headwear that we wear, the headpieces that we wear, the garments that we wear, the girdles that we wear, the armbands that we wear. That's why you see our camp equipment, and why it's made the way that it's made. And that's how you also can tell the difference. As what you was laughing. As you can also tell the difference between these fake Israelite groups because you look at their camp equipment and it's all it takes is a strong breeze to knock over their whole camp. You know what I mean? You look at their garments. The IOIC, they wear all purple. They wear all purple, and they armbands is rubber or plastic. You know what I mean? They headpieces is plastic. You know what I mean? Like they signs is plastic. It's like they don't take it seriously, and they of course they purple garments. It's like I don't know about you, but my garment it could stop a knife. I don't know. These brothers that I see wearing garments out of camp, it could definitely. I'll be looking at it. I'll be looking at the texture. I'm like, man, that could definitely. It's gonna take a little bit of oomph to get through that garment. You know what I mean? But nobody takes this as seriously as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and the ISUPK do. And I see you, a Shalom, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakatah. I see you, now priest and officers, the car one. Out of Dallas, Texas. Throw out for joining us. And Salaki, I saw your question that you sent me. I'm not gonna I'm gonna go ahead and address that, Salaki. I meant to address it when you sent it to me, but I got busy. But the garments that we wear is warlike apparel. That's the whole point. Salaki. So that's what's being described as what Christ wore. Now, this man right here, this freak ball that you see on the screen. That is not warlike apparel. He looked like he got on bed sheets. Like he looked like he just got out of bed. You know what I mean? That is not warlike apparel. Go ahead.
Verse 14. His head and his hair were white like wool.
So like they ain't even got. First of all, his hair ain't white and the texture ain't like wool. You look at this depiction of Christ. It's not white and it's not woolly. But who does have woolly hair? You give it a shot, sister? Who got woolly hair? You said white people got woolly hair? Yeah, let me get a picture of wool real quick. I wish as a matter of fact, take your shiesty off real quick. You try again, sister? What kind of people got woolly hair? Let me see. Pull up another screen. It's like I don't mean to put you on spot, sister. Ooh, who hair look like this? Good night. They tried it. They tried. They tried it. Let me do this real quick. So they playing games on here on Google. Let's do this. Let's get right to the nitty gritty. Oh yeah, okay. Here we go. See now we look at that. See, this is woolly. This is woolly hair. This is hair like wool. You know what I mean, your oppressor's hair, their hair do not look like this. That depiction of Christ that we just saw, let me put it back up. That depiction of Christ, that ain't woolly hair. But there's only one nation of people that predominantly has woolly hair, and it's black people. It's Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, go ahead, read on.
Con on the one con. His head and his hair were white like wool,
Look at this sister right here. This woolly hair. Let's see if I can find some more. Go ahead.
as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So it's already, he's saying that his hair was white and woolly. I mean, his brother got the blowout, but even, you know how, I don't know if y'all can relate, but if y'all brothers and sisters, y'all blow out your hair, you might flat iron it or whatever. And I don't know about y'all, but when I flat iron or blow out my hair, I can get in the car, and by the time I get to the school, it's a woolly, it's back to little afro. Like I'll leave the house and it'll be long and straight, and then I get in the car, and by the time I get to the school, it's looking like this brother right here. You know what I mean? Black Hispanics and Native Americans are the ones with woolly hair, and that's the description of Christ. Go ahead.
Con on the one con.
So that's just we just went over the description of his garment, what he wore, which was the warlike apparel that we wear at camp, and we just described his hair, and his his hair texture and his demeanor. You know what I mean? Because he's not gonna be. Let me go back to this. Did you read the part that says his eyes were a flame of fire?
Con on one con.
Now this, oh my God! Like every depiction of Christ, he just looks so soft and just good night. This the one. This the one right here. With the all he needed was the little hand right here. That's the depiction that I always see. He just got the soft wouldn't hurt a fly. And he just like that's that's what they want you to believe is Christ. But it said that he had on a garment. He had on a garment down to the foot and was girded about the paps with a golden girdle. His hair was white and woolly, and his eyes as a flame of fire. His eyes ain't as a flame of fire. His eyes say, "Don't hurt me." His eyes are very soft and delicate. You know what I mean? That's what they want you to believe is Christ. Go ahead, read on.
Con on the one con. And his feet like unto fine brass.
Now we about to get down to the nitty gritty. His feet like what?
Fine brass.
Now I don't know about y'all. You know what I mean? But I ain't never. My feet are the same color as the rest of my body. I don't know what y'all got going on. I don't know what they think Christ got going on, but everybody feet is about the same color as the rest of their body. So if read that again. Was that verse 15?
Con on one con. Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass.
So if they saying that his feet is unto fine brass, let me see. Brass is about, it's like a let's see. Well, we got Google right here. Let me see. See what brass look like. Just so we clear, because we talked to, I don't know if did you see that that Captain Dezarak debate with the Matan and the two rabbis? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, whenever you bring up the color of Christ, they be like, "Oh, he was olive color." They try to say anything but he's a black man. Like old buddy from that church in Georgia, the 2819 church. He said Christ was not a black man. He was an ex-ethnic Jew. Everybody, or they say that he was a Middle Eastern man. You know what I mean? As if Middle Eastern is a nationality or a color. But this is what brass look like. Brass. So this is at best, you know what I mean, the complexion of Christ. But go ahead and read on. It's a little bit more.
Con on one con. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
So not only was it brass, which is this golden, this golden color, but it was brass as if it were, read that, as if it were what?
Burned in a furnace.
Nah, lightly toasted.
Burned in a furnace.
Nah, just a little, just heat it up just a little.
Burned in a furnace.
Now, I don't know if y'all burned anything before. Let's see what burn look like. I don't know. Google might have to teach this class tonight. Let's see what this is talking about. Let's see what. Oof. Here we go. Let's see. I don't even know if I want to put this. I don't want to put that up. But I don't know if y'all burned anything before, but when you burn anything at all, it turned what, white? It'll turn white. Am I tripping? I mean, do this man look like his feet is bronze as if it burned in the furnace? You know what I mean, I ain't never heard of anything burning and then turning white. I don't know. But I'm sure your oppressor is gonna find a way to try to make, because they have. And that's the whole point. And that's why your Christian church isn't equipped to, and that's why your Christian church ain't equipped to teach the truth according to the Bible. Because, as a matter of fact, let me put this back up. But that's why your Christian pastors ain't equipped to teach the truth according to the Bible, because they believe in this Christ that you see on the screen. That's what they believe in. That's what they teach. They teach that Christ is a white man, and as you know what I mean, ICE is rounding you up, which look like this Jesus right here, as ICE is rounding you up, as your president is writing you know what I mean, writing laws, and I forgot what executive orders, as he's signing executive orders, you know what I mean, to mass deport Hispanics, to kicking the doors of black people in Chicago, to, you know what I mean, take the lives and be extra rough with black people. Like, I don't know if y'all remember, but he said, don't be gentle with them. You know what I mean? Hit they, as you put them in the back of the car, you know what I mean, hit their head on the back of the car. You know what I mean? That he's and then he also gave our police force, or he's trying to give, I don't know if he's done it already, but he's trying to give our police force, or our oppressors police force, immunity, as if they haven't taken the lives of enough blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. I mean, as if they don't have enough strength and power over blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He's trying to immunize the police force that's already oppressing Slovakia, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? And he looks like this Christ right here. You know what I mean? Your Karens that come into your neighborhoods, that call the police on your kids and get them locked up. You know what I mean? That call the police on you at your job, that want to super, you know what I mean? That want to super micromanage you at your job. I mean, all these different things. They look like this Christ right here. And even though every devil, every oppressor that's ever been in your life has been a so-called that look like this, you know what I mean? Everybody, you know what I mean, your boss, you know what I mean, your police force, your military, every politician, you know what I mean, that writes laws to oppress you, look like this. You go to a black Christian church and it's gonna be that on your wall. I mean, so your Christian pastors have been long ill-equipped to teach the truth to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But that's what the ISUPK is here for. You know what I mean? So with that being said, Salakia, if you got any questions or comments, you go ahead and put them in the chat. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the video, whatever platform you're watching on. And we're gonna go ahead and get into some of this Hebrew. Before we get started, you say you didn't have a question? Okay, no sweat. Since you have a question about the Hebrew or anything that you wanted to know? Okay, no sweat. All right, before we get started, right? Salakia. Let me grab a tissue real quick. But before we get started, we're gonna go ahead and touch on the salute for the brothers and sisters real quick. A brother asked a question a couple of days ago, and I wasn't able to get to it when he asked, but since this is the Lashawan Qadash class, we'll get into it. We'll get into it tonight. As a matter of fact, I design. You know what I mean, since last week we talked about penmanship. Let's go ahead and write the brother salute on the board, Baba Kashai. In the Hebrew. We'll start with that. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'Shem Yahweh, or Salaki, Yahweh Shamar Alatha Ba'Shem Yahweh. I see you, sis Mariam. I see you checking in the water. You know what I mean? If you got any questions, Baba Kasha, feel free to put it in the chat as well so we can go ahead and get it addressed. Let's see. Try to write a little bigger, like just keep in mind the people that's gonna be watching online. That's who you really want to teach. Like, we got a clear view. Like, in here, we can always like get up and interactive. Assist as well. If you having trouble seeing, you can always move a chair a little closer. But anybody in here, we can always move around. That was actually perfect. Now you good to go. But people online is who you really want to keep in mind as you teaching on the board, especially Lashawan Qadash class, because we do a lot of our classes on the board. But the salute, like when you first come into the school, the salute is probably gonna be the first, or actually that's gonna be the first thing that you learn when you come into the truth, when you come into the school, right? Just because that's just how we talk to one another. Whenever we see one another, whenever we call one another, uh, uh, lock you. But yeah, that's just how we talk to one another. Whenever we see one another, whenever we call one another, you'll just hear us. You might hear us say it real quick, but you'll hear us say shalom. We'll say shalom Yahabashim Yahshabrakatah whenever we communicate with one another in you know what I mean, through text or whatever the case is. You'll hear us, or you'll see us talk to each other in that way. We greet a sister is shalom Yahweh Shamar Latham Bashim Yahweh or whatever. Anytime we greet each other, or whenever we you know what I mean, whenever we leave class, or whenever we get off the phone, or whatever the case is, that's how we'll salute each other. So this is probably gonna be the first thing that you learn, and it's especially if you're new to the Hebrew, the Lashawan Qadash, this is gonna help you out with a lot. If you could just leave a little space in between, like the sentences, so I can, because I'm gonna write underneath as well. So like right at the bottom of that box that you see in that corner. Yeah, if you could. But that's the whole point. So if it's just an easy lesson. Like, I know the Lashawan Qadash, you got to come here. You go. It could be intimidating. You come in here, you feel like you got to learn a new language, because this is a new language. Our language was stole from us. We got to learn Spanish. We got to learn English, and then you got to come in here, and now you got to add another language. You know what I mean, it could be overwhelming, but learning this right here is a good place to start, because we say it every day to one another. That's how we talk to one another. All right. So for the brothers, is Yahweh Bahashem. It's like a so it's like a Shalom, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Athah. All right, the water, sir. And I'm gonna break down each individual part and what it means, where it comes from. Right. And then for the sisters, it's Shalom, Yahweh, Shamar, Alatha, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. We're gonna break down each individual part. Son Christ. Most High Christ. Give him a hand. Now you wanna break it down, or you want me to break it down? No. Okay, no sweat, no sweat. No, you good to go. And this is, this is what you it's a couple things that you, I don't want to say you necessarily, but it's a couple things. Well, now I would say this is perfect. Yeah, I would say this is perfect, especially what we went over last week regarding penmanship. All right, so the first word right here is Yahweh. This is the Most High's name. If you, oh damn, when you get back, if you could, sir, in the Biblical Hebrew Workbook and Textbook, page 3, at the top of the page. This is another common misconception about, about the Bible, that your Christian pastors, no matter how many resources we go into, not the blue, or not blue, the black and white book down at the bottom. No, black and white, yeah. But this is something that your Christian pastor is going to fight tooth and nail over. No matter how many resources we show them, no matter how we show them in the Bible, no matter how we show them in the Bible what the Most High's name is, no matter how we show them, no matter how many times, because I don't know how many times I done read this page, but no matter how much we show them, I just real quick, you mind grabbing your phone and just searching, when was the letter J added to the Hebrew, or added to the alphabet? If you could, sir, slack you.
Page 3 of the Biblical Hebrew Salakia text and workbook. The Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world, still in use today.
So this is what we're about to break down is the importance of the Hebrew and how far back it goes. And it just said that the Hebrew is the oldest and still in use today, the oldest language still in use today. And we're about to go over a couple nuances that kind of confuse, or it's gonna draw the line between the Bible, biblical Hebrew, and what your oppressor speaks. Because your oppressor, you look in the Diamond District, you look in the in Judaism, they claim to speak Hebrew, but they're gonna confess, because I didn't write this book. These are Yale scholars, linguists, oppressors, that agree that their Hebrew isn't the original Hebrew. They're going to confess that they changed the Hebrew. So, like it, sir, if you could.
From the top, the Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world, still in use today. Our own alphabet is a descendant of it by circuitous root. Excuse me.
So our own. I believe when they say our own alphabet, I think they're talking about the I think they're talking about the American alphabet. But either way, both of them are a descendant of the biblical Hebrew or the Lashawan Qadash. Now, this is the Assyrian Hebrew. This is a version of the Hebrew that we had to adopt to try and disguise our language amongst other nations, because we were under the Assyrian captivity. And if you actually look up the Assyrian language, it looks very similar to how our language is, or how the Assyrian Hebrew is written. But this was the original Lashawan Qadash here up at the top. But even the American alphabet and the so-called Yiddish, which is your oppressor's Hebrew, it's a descendant of this, what we teaching tonight. It's like it, sir. Go ahead.
The text of the Hebrew Bible we use today reflects several periods of development.
So that's just what I just broke down. It's like it, sir. Go ahead.
Originally, only the consonants were used.
Originally what?
Originally, only the consonants were used.
Nah, since 1969, because we teach our own Hebrew. What did that say?
Originally, only the consonants were used.
So originally, only the consonants were used. So these are the Hebrew characters that you see up here. So you got Abba, Gada, Hawa. You mind adjusting the camera real quick to this top portion? So these are the original characters right here. So these are the original characters. The pictographs. Abba, Gada, Hawa, Za, Khata, Laka. It's like a Khata, Yaka, Lama, Nasa, I, Pataza, Kwa, Rasha, and Tha. Now, all of those characters are consonants, right? All of those characters are consonant sounds. Now, a lot of, especially like fake Israelites, you know what I mean, Christians, they'll hear that ah sound at the end, and they'll be like, well, that's a vowel. You know what I mean? Not even considering that when you say the alphabet, like when you say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you're not saying in your mind, you're seeing when you say A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is what you're saying in your mind. Right? That's what you're seeing in your mind. You're seeing A, B, C, D in your mind. But what you're saying is A, B, you're saying A, B, C, D. And even as you're saying these with these extra vowels in the sound, when you're saying the letter, you're not thinking, though 3 out of 4 of these are considered English consonants. But you're not looking at these as vowels. What you're saying in the Lashawan Qadash, that's just the phonetic or the sound of what the character sounds like. Just like A, B, C, D. This is just the phonetic spelling or what the character or the letter sounds like. But A is the only vowel in the that I got written up here. B, C, and D are consonants. But when you hear that E sound at the end, you don't consider that a vowel. So that's just something that your Christian pastors and anybody that tries to come up against the Lashawan Qadash, it's just something that they miss, because their goal isn't to understand what's really in the Bible. Their goal is to try to validate their Christian beliefs so that they can go home and get high. They can go home and celebrate Christmas. You know what I mean? It's going to be a lot of that, you know what I mean, coming up, because we in the so-called holiday season. So you're going to see a lot of Christians that try to come up against, the Lashawan Qadash, the things that we teach coming out of this Bible, because they want to validate the disgusting things that they want to do for the next 3 or 4 months. But that's all that's about. You know what I mean? But he just said, it's like, if you could read that paragraph again. From the top. Originally,
only the consonants were used.
So now you know, even though you hear Abba, Gada, Hawa, Za, Khata, Yaka, Lama, Nasa, I, even though you hear those things, all of those characters are consonants until we're going to find out what your oppressor did to the language. If you could, sir.
By the time of the Israelite kingdoms, some consonants, Ya, I, and Ah, were used to indicate certain vowels.
So the consonants, even though the original language was all consonants, some of those characters were turned into vowels. And we're going to talk about in a second how they turned those into vowels. But originally, only the consonants was used. All right. So why are we going into, if you could, sir, are we going to finish that up and then I'm going to break it all down?
I'm with you. The next paragraph.
Baba Kasha.
These letters continue to be used as consonants as well.
So they used as vowels and consonants. Go ahead.
Much later, in the Middle Ages, a system of dots and dashes was devised to indicate every vowel.
So that's where the language changed. So when you see when you open up Bible Hub, when we read Leviticus 23 or we read their Sabbath service and we going through the scriptures, when you see those, you might see something like this. You'll see like this or like or something. You'll see things like those dots and dashes that you see underneath those characters. That's what your oppressor added to the language to try to depict the vowels. You know what I mean? But originally, only the consonants were used. You know what I mean? And just like your oppressor changed the color of Christ, just like they changed what the mission of Christ. Christ said, think not I've come to destroy the law or the prophets. You know what I mean? Think not I've come to destroy the law or the prophets I've come to fulfill. They say Christ came and died so the law is done away with. Just like they tried to change the law, just like they tried to change the color of Christ, they tried to change the language as well. That's why instead of saying shalom, they say shalom. That's why instead of saying Yahweh, they say Yehuda, Yeshua Salaki. So you about to say something?
No, I was just saying that's very heavy. It breaks down perfectly. Not just the Yiddish, but even certain other Israelite groups who try to insert other vowels like U unnecessarily, O unnecessarily, because they're just doing it to stand out, just like the Jewish man did.
Now what you said was absolutely the truth. Like that's the whole point. And what more importantly, they're doing it to pander to Christians. That's why every other fake Israelite group says, and I'm gonna break this down as well. And if you could read what you got pulled up.
The letter J didn't exist in English until 1633.
1633. Now I think it was a little bit before that. I think it was about 14 or 1500. What you got more?
It was another statement that said another paragraph that said 1524 by the Italian Garmanian Gino Gargio, somebody.
That's what was concept water. But so like we was talking about what they call the Most High. They like what do they call the Most High? They call him Jehovah in the Christian church. You read the book of Psalms 83 and verse, I believe it's 18, thou whose name alone is, where it should say Yahweh, it says Jehovah. Anywhere where it mentions the Most High's name, it says Jehovah. But read that again.
The letter J was officially distinguished from I in 1524.
So that's when the letter J was introduced into the alphabet. But before that, guess what? We just read, you mind reading that first paragraph?
Originally or at the top?
At the top.
The Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world, still in use today.
It's the what?
the oldest in the world.
So so like it predates the 1500s. Oh, select you, as you select you, sir.
So like the oldest in the world.
So predates 1500.
The oldest in the world
Predates 1600.
is the oldest in the world.
I mean, I think that's pretty clear. So when you see Jehovah in the Bible, that's incorrect. You know what I mean? The Bible, the King James 1611 Bible was authorized and translated by King James in 1611, which is after the J was introduced, but the Hebrew, which didn't have a J, predates all of that. You know what I mean? So when you see Jehovah, Yehuda, Yeshua, Yahweh is his name because it predates the J and it predates any imposition of any vowels on these consonants. It uses the consonants as they are, and it doesn't have that that J. All right, so that's how you know that that's the Lord's name. All right, Salaki. Now, also, that's how you know that this is incorrect or not. Let me write it in English. This is incorrect. Shalom is incorrect. I mean, if you want to use peace as a greeting to greet a brother, to greet a sister, like we started off the you ain't put it in the greeting, but it's at the beginning of our greeting. Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah. Shalom, Yahweh Shemar Latham Hashem Yahushua. We say shalom because I'm gonna write this as well. I'm gonna start with this. So what we just read in the biblical Hebrew workbook and textbook shows you where shalom came from, because it just said the system of dots and dashes that I got right here, and these are not accurate to like depict the vowels. You know what I mean? We don't need that, so there's no reason to learn the system of dots and dashes unless you want to delve into the Yiddish for whatever reason. But the reason why fake Israelites, like the priest said, you know what I mean, to pander to Christians and try to, you know what I mean, basically, you know what I mean, just like a Christian want to just get your money. The reason why they impose that, or they say shalom, is because of your oppressor imposing those vows. All right. So this is a word, shalom. It's a word. It's a word that you'll see in the scriptures. It's a word that you'll see in the Zondervan, or not the Zondervan, the Hebrew to English dictionary. You'll see that in Bible Hub, Blue Letter Bible. But when it's improper, it's incorrect to say it as a greeting to one another. You know what I mean? Shalom is talking about like what you're doing. That you know what that wa means, right? Go ahead, break it down. All right, Tazai. What the wa means in the middle of a word.
Like
On the way.
it'll be a tense. It'll be a so like the Y will be a doing tense.
So in simple terms, like when you're first learning the Hebrew, the simplest way to understand it is ing. Now, of course, Hebrew and English isn't the same, but to be able to understand it, to give you a parallel to be able to understand it, that y in the middle is to say ing. Like if I wanted to say what's the word? Fight. That's the first word that came to mind. Fight. I think fight is like the bar or war, right? Or warrior. The bar. Now you put a wa in the middle to say gaba war. You're talking about what that warrior is doing, right? So that's the purpose of the wa in the middle. Let me think. Who else? Just a couple brothers with a wa in the middle of their name. I don't know why I'm drawing the blank right now. But any word that you could think of, any verb rather, if you take a verb in the Hebrew and put a Y in the middle, it turns into a doing thing. Or you can
Ashawar, you know, I brother, they got his name in the count. How what they are.
I gotta look at his name. I'm not familiar with his name quite yet, so I couldn't even tell you right now.
You know, for sure, it's like that is Ashawar, is like the thing that like that.
I'm just taking a good shot at the dark.
Okay, I got you. Okay, you can really take any brother. You can really take Officer Gabawar in Houston. That's the first thing that came to my mind. But Gabar means war, right? It means war or warrior or but the Y is talking about what that warrior is doing. You know what I mean? Oh, please. You gotta.
So the Y in shalom here would just mean you are at peace, or like this is the state of being you are in, not necessarily being like I'm coming up to you and telling you to chill out type bid.
More so that's more on it. Or like creating peace. Like if we had beef and I didn't want beef no more, I would do something to make peace with you. That's what that why it goes from shalom is just peace. Like shalom, peace. Shalom is the act of peace. Like if I bring you a bottle of Jack Daniels,
I see.
That's shalom. Like I'm peace, or like the ing, you just add ing at the end of peace, piecing, right? To help you understand. But that's what the wad does. You know what I mean? So when these fake Israelites say shalom, first of all, but when they say shalom, they're saying peacing. Like it's like walking around saying, like we say peace. Even in English, when we greet each other, we like, hey, what's going there? Hey, peace. Get off the phone. All right, peace. But that's like them walking around being like piecing. A man look you dead in your face and be like piecing. You're gonna be confused, right? He gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I mean? That's what this is when you walk around and say shalom. You must get that. That's what it looked like when you walk around and say shalom. You know what I mean? That's why it's incorrect. It's just not the right context. All right. Which is where shalom comes from, because this system of dots and dashes, I think it said in that book, it says Y is one of those characters that was used as a vowel.
Khan, I believe this is Y, which is interpreted as an O or U.
Khan, yes, interpreted as an O or U, because originally, like we read in the beginning, originally only the consonants was used. So there was no O, there was no U, there was none of that. There was no A. There was no E sound. There was none of those vowel sounds that you got. But to create a O and a U sound, they just took this character and put this. I believe it's called the gesh in that book. But to turn the Y into an O sound, they use like this system of dots and dashes. And again, I don't know if this is the exact dot and dash system that they use to turn into an O or a U. I'm just showing you. You know what I mean? You might be a dot above it, or you might see like a dot or something like that here in between or right next to the word, or the character rather, Salakia. But that's the purpose of, or that's where shalom comes from. So when your oppressor says shalom, that's incorrect. When fake Israelites say shalom, you know what I mean, or individualites, they say shalom, that's incorrect, because it's just another bastardization of our original language. All right. Lock you. All right. So that breaks down Yahweh. So it takes out the J in Jehovah. So you know the J in Jehovah is incorrect, and you know the O in Jehovah is incorrect because of what we just described and what we just read in that book. And then you know the V or the Va sound, because I believe when you hear Va in the Yiddish, it's either a ba or a wa, but that's just how they pronounce it. But there's no va character in the Lashawan Qadash alphabet. There's no aba. It's abagada hawaza khata yaka lama nasa I patazakwa rashata. There's no va sound. So Jehovah is incorrect. I mean, for those three reasons. All right. So ba ha shum. Ba shum is the next part. Shum means name. Oh, so like you was about to say something. You had your hand up.
No, I'm good.
Okay, no sweat. Shum means name. Like right. Shum just means name. Ba is a ba and ha. As a matter of fact, you want to break it down real quick? So I already gave you the first part. And when you're writing on the board, just be mindful of the camera as well. So you want to stand to the side, and I mean that's what you're gonna want to do when you teaching, or if you like doing a lecture, because I mean you never know. You never know what we're gonna be doing. But just be mindful of the camera and what brothers and sisters are gonna be seeing online. Most times correct. Go ahead, break down what you just wrote down.
Kana one kan. I wrote down in Salakia. I wrote down in for the ba, and then the ha would be the, so that'll be in the name.
How you know that? Go a little deeper.
Okay. Then the preposition for ba, that would be in. It'll be a preposition, and then ha Salakia. That would be Salakia. And the ha will be the, that would be the root. That'll be a part of no. The ha.
Root word is show.
Kind of one kind. The would be the ha. Not a buffer. It wouldn't be a buffer.
Yeah, if I could take a crack at it, I think ba and ha are both prepositions to line up to give better context to the root word name. So in the name, so Yahweh in the name, so that's how it's translated. It'd be the Lord in the name, and then the next word with whatever prepositions root and other what possessives kind of.
What you said was correct. Give him a hand. Most time correct. And this is why, and you did an excellent job. You know what I mean? You did an excellent job what you was writing down. But just remember, this is why this is up here. This box right here. So the 4 steps of being able to read the Hebrew. You know what I mean? Because our language is simple. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like nonsensical like your oppressor's language. You know what I mean? You got the word you got words that just where letters sound one way in this word, but then they sound another way in this word, even though they written the exact same way. Or they got certain rules, like they say, like they teach you in school, I before E except after C or something like that in 4th grade, and then in 5th grade you learning how and when to break that rule. You know what I mean? Like the Hebrew isn't like that. The Hebrew is real straightforward and to the point. All right. So the 4th step that you want to use to understanding the Hebrew is the first thing you could do is identify the root word. That's why I wrote here, shum is the root word, which means name. All right. So you already know that in and the are prepositions, like the priest said, because the preposition comes before the root word. So once you identify the root word, anything that comes before it And Salak, if I didn't say it before, the Hebrew is written from right to left. It's written and read from right to left. Right. So this will be the beginning of it, and then going that way will be the end of your phrase. So if shum is the root word, meaning name, you know, ba and ha are prepositions because they come before the root word, which is how you say in and the. So ba ha shum is in the name, right? And then go ahead and break down the next part.
Kind of one kind. It'll be Yahweh. Yahweh Shai, which is Christ.
You know what Christ's name means in Hebrew?
Not the Prince of. Just went over this last class.
And if I could, like when you teach it too, especially like if you're on the board, try and like when you write, try and like step to the side.
I like that. I mean deliver. Deliver.
Got deliverer.
Deliverer.
Well, you heard what I said, though, right?
Right to the
When
side.
so when you writing, like you could write to the side, and then when you teach it, try and turn and so right now you kind of block it right there.
Oh no! Wow, I see.
No, most of now you good to go. I'm just walking through how to teach on the board.
Salaki, on the name of Yahweh Shai, is deliverer just like another, like a synonym? Because I thought it was like he will save, or he saves, or he will be a savior, or something like that. I might be wrong.
No, I'm actually glad you said that because you can actually break this down a little bit further. So, like in the Lord's Prayer, in the Lord's Prayer where we say that portion where it says Hawashanawa Hawashanawa Mayan Ra Kaya Laka Hamalakwaf. That part where it says deliver us from evil. But thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory. Where it says deliver us from evil, the word deliver us is, I keep losing this damn. The word deliver, or that word that you see in the Lord's Prayer, is Hawashai. Hawashai Noah. So if you ever been a part of the Sabbath service, or during a feast day when we do the Lord's Prayer and all of that, you hear it say Hawashai Noah. It's deliver us. The Noah, of course, is our as a possessive. I usually keep them down here, but the kids, what I mean, we had to let the kids be kids, so they kind of scribbled on the notes. But it's been on the board for the past couple classes. Brothers got it in their notes. We'll go through another class as well and put it back up here. But I mean, if you've been here for a while, you should have it in your notes. You should be familiar with it. But Noah means our. This is your root word. Hawashai. Hawashai. Right? Which means deliver or save, or like if you look it up, I wish I had my dictionary with me. But if you look it up in the dictionary, it's going to give you all the definitions that you mentioned: deliver, save, but it means the same thing. And also sidebar, I believe there's another name that fake Israelites also call, or individualites call Christ. I believe it's like Yehoshua or something like that. There's I can't remember what the exact, but there's another word that means deliver, but this word stems from that word. It's like, and if you look up Hawashai, I think it's Yasho. I can't remember what it is. I wish I had my dictionary so I could go into it. A brother put it in the chat a couple classes ago, and he said, "Now his name is Yahoshua or Yash, something like that." He said it, and but if you look up this word, I think we got a dictionary too. Strong's Concordance. It's that brown Bible or maroon. It's lucky. But if you look up that one's a little bit uh deliver. But if you look that up in the Strong's, it'll take you to this word or the other word. And it'll reference, like if it takes you to this word, Hawashai, it'll reference the other word. And vice versa. If it takes you to the other word, it'll take you to this word. But both mean the same thing. But what the brother was trying to say in the chat is basically he was trying to invalidate Yahweh being his name because of the other word. But of course, well, let me break this down real quick while you finding that. So Yah Hawashai. Hawashai means deliver. All right. Hawashai means deliver. Yah, which means, you know what I mean? Because we just established that Hawashai is the root word. So that means Yah is a what? Preposition, meaning what? La'a. Yah. I know it's kind of messed up. We taking the training. The kids took the training wheels off the lock you. But you got it in your notes though, right? The preposition possesses. God. So Yah. So if Hawashai means deliver, Yah Hawashai means what? Khan. That's the breakdown of Christ's name. And also, if you look in the book of Joshua, you know what I mean, if you open up that Torah right there that we got the Hebrew, we got the first 5 books of the Bible written in the Hebrew, in that scroll right there. And when you get to the what is it? The Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Salakia. I think we go a little bit past the first 5. I can't remember. But if you look at the book of Joshua in the Hebrew, it says Yahawashai. Yahawashai is Joshua translated into the Hebrew. Jesus is Greek, but his name was like if we were speaking in English, his name would be Joshua. That's why the prophet, can you call him a prophet? Is he a prophet? Joshua? Most High Christ. But the brother Joshua in the Bible, who has a book named after him, his name in the Hebrew was Yahawashai. So when you know what I mean, and his name means the same thing. But when you look it up, it'll say Yahawashai. All right. And I believe he was one of the only brothers aside from Caleb that made it into the you know what I mean, the promised land after the exodus of the Lord's chosen people. I believe when does Joshua make an appearance or first start?
In Exodus, he was one of the princes of the 12 tribes. Him and Caleb were 2 of the only people out of the second generation.
And I believe when Moses passed, he, you know what I mean, filled when Moses and Aaron passed, he was the, you know what I mean, he was the head of the nation, right? But that was his name, Yahawashai in the Hebrew. When you read it in Bible Hub, Blue Letter Bible, or whatever you read from, it'll say Yahawashai. So just to, you know what I mean, kill the confusion, you know what I mean, that's what his name was. And that's all that brother was dealing with in that class. He was dealing with some confusion on what that brother's name, because there is another name, or there is another word in the Hebrew that means deliver. or deliverer.
Yeah, I've known it to be other. This is like a real one West. Another word is to mean like save, but it might mean deliver as well. Yeah, I think it was Yeshaya. A lot of other Israelites call it like Yeshaya, something like that, or it's very close. Something like that, very close to Yeshaya.
And I think that sound real familiar. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think that might have been it. But that brother was just having a confusion with those two words, and he thought that because this word meant delivered, it couldn't mean this. And it's just a simple, again, like when you come into the truth, you have to wash the Christianity off of what you've been taught. Like a lot of times you come in here, and because we, you know what I mean, we got the courage and the authority to say we are the home of the truth. A lot of brothers and sisters want to challenge what we say, especially if you're coming out the Christian church. A lot of brothers and sisters want to say, "Oh, how can you be the home of the truth?" Or "Why can't I eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster? Why can't I celebrate Christmas? Because you've been learning this all your life, and then when you try to learn on your own, or you might have joined a fake Israelite group or whatever the case is. They taught you some things, and now we're telling you what you was taught was wrong. So of course, when you're being told that you're wrong, the first thing, especially black people, because we like to fight. You know what I mean? The first thing we want to do is be like, we want to challenge what you're saying. You know what I mean? But that's all that brother was doing. And in challenging though, in challenging what we're teaching, a lot of times you'll forget common sense. You know what I mean? Just to put it in. And I don't mean to, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that to clown nobody, but you'll forget common sense because Christianity makes you forget common sense. Like, so you about to say something?
So, no, I was gonna try to. I was thinking of a good way to try to explain it too. Trying to be, and I'm saying this humbly. I don't often speak humbly to brothers who aren't in this school. But I'm trying to say this humbly to all blacks and Hispanics out there. I was in the Christian church, and shamefully, I was lied to by a fake Israelite group before I found the truth. And what you want to come with your battle, you want to come with your doctrine. Sure, you can do that. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to be a fanboy. You don't want to be fanboyed out. Only person you should try to search and serve is the Lord. So if you get proven wrong, brother, it's time for you to humble down. And that's, to speak back and to boast once again in the name of the Lord, the ISUPK will prove your fake Israelite group and your Christian church wrong. So like you.
No, give him a hand. And that's where that's how you know what I mean, what the priest just said was so heavy. And it goes to show you that, you know what I mean, when the Christian church, they try to battle us, or what I mean, fake Israelite groups, they try to battle us and they get proven wrong. You know what I mean? Captain Tazariak is excellent at proving brothers wrong and battling. General Mahaiman, he's excellent at it. Commander General Yohana, forget about it. You know what I mean? But brothers and sisters try to hold on to the doctrine, and when you do that, you gotta ask yourself, who are you serving? Like, are you looking to serve the Lord? Because that's every Christian's and every fake Israelite group's excuse for not coming into ISUPK. But are you really serving the Lord, or are you pledging your allegiance to IUIC or whatever organization you're a part of? Are you pledging your allegiance to the Lord, or are you pledging your allegiance to, what I mean, Marvin Sapp, or what's bro name in 2819? Anthony Michael Mitchell, Anthony Philip Mitchell, or something like that. Yeah, whoever, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Is it right or is it wrong?
Right. And that's the bottom line. Like, is it right or is it wrong? Can I show you in the Bible what it is and what it ain't, or not? If I've shown you in the Bible, if I've shown you in the biblical Hebrew workbook and textbook, if I've shown you in the concordance, if I've shown you wherever I can show you whether it's right or wrong, or that is wrong, are you going to believe it? If you believe it after I've shown you that it's wrong, and you have no leg to stand on to show that it's right, then you pledge your allegiance to this organization. Just like you go to school or you go to a football game and pledge allegiance to the flag. It's no different. It's like, you about to say something?
I'm gonna bring out the point you said about the Christian church that make you forget common sense. I think you were saying that's pretty much like even with the Bible, growing up in a Christian church, like one of the brothers said they teach Christianity. They don't teach the Bible, like the whole apple thing, like the whole snake didn't have any feet and it got laid on his belly. The Easter egg stuff that they celebrate. The Christ is white, and you go into the Bible like we just did today, and it showed he was the black man. Yeah, but the Christian church, they teach Christianity. They do not teach the Bible.
No, that's exactly and that you can guess what? I can prove that to you in history. I mean, the things that's taught in that Christian church, I can prove to you that comes from your person. Go ahead.
No, it growing up, it'll make you like the Bible seem like some fairy tale story or some stories that you really don't believe actually happened. You just go to the church every Sunday because your parents told you to go, and it kind of like school. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like school. It's the stuff that the white man has put out for us to learn. So you really don't grasp on to the spirit behind the Bible. You just go and you learn, and it doesn't really truly seem real.
Yeah, because
going to the Christian church, like it.
God, no, what you said was that because they already start off in Genesis. They start off with snakes and apples. You know what I mean? Yeah, after you say snakes and apples, everything that's in the Bible is just the story fairy tale book. We looking at the Jungle Book. You say snakes and apples, and you talk the snake talked, and you know what I mean, all of that, and you start off with snakes and apples. Everything else is all right. You know what I mean? This is Rapunzel now. You know what I mean? Look up for me. What's it called? What's it called? Plantation. Good night. I think it's Plantation Churches. Plantation. I think it's Plantation Churches. I forget what it's called. I think it's called a Plantation Church. You should be able to click on the first link, not the book. I'm missing a word. Let me see if I can find it. I think I got it in my notes. But just to your point though, Aitazah, that's where that's like what you said, when you go in that Christian church, they teach you Christianity. I know I just recently taught it. It should be in my notes. But when you see those Christianity started on those plantation churches. So on those plantation churches, there was it was like a black church, like you see right there, like you see right next door. It was a black church, but in that church there was a oppressor. There was a slave master sitting in the back of the church to make sure what that Christian pastor taught you in that Christian church fit with the indoctrination, the slavery indoctrination that they was trying to teach you to keep you a good slave. That's why you can, like we was talking about earlier, you see that white Jesus on every Christian church wall, but then you read in the Bible that Christ was a black man. That's how those things can exist, because it started with those plantation churches. You know what I mean? Where the Bible says slaves be obedient to your masters, but they don't teach you the part right after it. I believe it's in like Ephesians or something like that. But right after it says slaves be obedient, or servants be, no, it doesn't say slaves, it says servants be obedient to your masters. Right after that, or right before it, it says masters be obedient to your servant. They don't read you that part. They take that part out and they teach you servants be obedient to your masters to enforce slavery. And they took out anything that might incite a revolution. Now, why did they do that? Because the Bible is a revolutionary book. That's the whole point of the Bible. You know what I mean? That's why when, you know what I mean, Nat Turner got his hands on the Bible and he read it and he saw the contradictions between what the Christian church taught and what the Bible is actually saying, they, you know what I mean, they did him terrible. You know what I mean? They cut him up, they didn't fed him, you know what I mean? They ate him. You know what I mean? They fed him his own genitals. They did all sorts of diabolical things that I can't, you know what I mean, go into detail on this in this class. But that's why, you know what I mean, when you read but that's why everybody hates the ISUPK, because we go out there and we teach the truth according to that. All we do is read the Bible. All we do is read the color of Christ. And brothers will fight you tooth and nail to try to say that Christ ain't got no color. Color ain't in the Bible. You know what I mean? We show where celebrating Christmas is wrong, and the Christian church will fight you tooth and nail to try to say that that Christmas pertains to Christ. You know what I mean? Because of what they were taught by their slave master. All right. But that's the whole point. So when you come up in here, you got to just wash the Christianity of what you learned before. You got to drop everything. Like the scriptures say, before you can you know what I mean, you don't pour new wine into old wine bottles or they burst. You know what I mean? So before you pour new wine, you know what I mean, you have to get rid of that old wine. You know what I mean? Which is a metaphor for your knowledge or understanding. You know what I mean? What you thought you knew about the Most High, what you thought you knew about the Bible, what you thought you knew about Christ and the prophets, you got to get rid of that. You got to get rid of all of that and start over and let, you know what I mean, the men above you pour new wine into you. You know what I mean? All right, so Yahweh, the Most High's name, Bahashem in the name, Yahweh Shai is Christ's name, or he delivers or he saves, which is also what translates to Joshua in the English. Barak, which means, I'll let you go ahead and do the last two. All right. And just to give you a hint while you're thinking about that, depending on who you're talking to, you'll say a th for one person or a thumb if you're talking to many people. All right. So I don't know if that jogged your memory a little bit. Or like earlier, I think I was saying a salute to the sister, and I said I had to correct. I said Yahweh Shamar ala Thun on accident, and then I corrected and said Yahweh Shamar ala Tha because it was just one sister. Khan. So a Tha would be you, a thumb would be y'all. So Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barak, a thumb would be blessed. Shalom. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, bless y'all. Like if I was leaving, I wanted to salute all y'all once, I'll say Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakathum. You know what I mean? Which is, you know what I mean? If you see brothers, we salute and greet each other constantly all the time. So you might hear us say, hey, Yabashkata. You might hear us run it all together like we do with any language. You know what I mean? You speak Spanish. The people, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who speak Spanish, they speak a very different Spanish than your oppressors, the Spaniards. You know what I mean? You speak patois or Creole, Haitian Creole. They speak a different French than the French. You know what I mean? English, even in English, we speak a different English than American English. You know what I mean? They say, like I keep saying, you know what I mean? White Americans, they will say, do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But we run it together, you know what I mean? Or in Houston, they be like, no, I'm talking about white people, they be like, do you know what I'm talking about? No, I don't. Don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? But we run it together. We've always done it. That's just in our culture. That's, you know what I mean? So when you see that, that's just us being us. When you hear it say, hey, yo, that's just us being us. It's a lot. Yeah. But okay, so that's the brother salute. What time is it? It's about time for see if we can get into let's see if we can run through the sister salute real quick. Is Slacky. Okay, no sir. Okay, no sir. I'm okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go through the sister salute. You mind getting rid of, there you go. Getting rid of that, and you can just write the salute up there like you did the last one. All right. And there's so many different teaching points just on the salute alone. You know what I mean? Like or just speaking Hebrew in general. Like you read through the Hebrew. That's why it's important to come to Lashawan Qadash class. That's why it's important to come to Sabbath service. That's why it's important to come to feast days, high holy days, and things like that. Because there's so many different teaching points and so many things that you can learn just within like we just went over just the salute. You know what I mean? That we say every day to one another. But we just covered so many different things. The plantation churches and what they teach versus what's actually in the Bible. We went over, you know what I mean, the historical development of the alphabet, how the Hebrew is the oldest and it doesn't use vowels, use all consonants. So now when you hear Jehovah or Yahuwah or Yeshua or Yahweh, you know that all of those things are incorrect because of history. Give just a little bit more space in between those, Baba Kasha. But it's just we just learned all of those things just by going over the salute by itself. Just something that we go over every day. All right. And this is ours. You know what I mean? This right here, this what we going through, this what we going over right now. This belongs to only Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Like they will never, like this ain't for our oppressor. You know what I mean? Even if they just like how we go amongst our oppressors, we might, you know what I mean, you got some brothers and sisters, they might have you know what I mean, been in the military, they might have been stationed overseas or whatever the case is, or you might have went to like in high school or something, they might teach you French or German or, you know what I mean, something like that, or Spanish. You know what I mean? Even when we go over to those countries and speak, you could go to France speaking French. They don't look at you as they people. You know what I mean? You go to Germany speaking German, they don't look at you as they people. You know what I mean? You can go to Spain and speak Spanish, they don't look at you as they people. Even the Hispanics here, which is our brothers, the Hispanics in America, if they go to Spain speaking the same Spanish that they were taught in the captivity, those in Spain, you know what I mean, those Spaniards won't look at Hispanics as their brothers. So, I mean, your oppressor can learn Hebrew all up and, you know what I mean, all day and night. I mean, they can learn the Lashawan Qadash all day and night. It still won't make them for them, and it still won't make them us. You know what I mean? This is something that belongs to only Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right. And that's what, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but that's what gave, you know what I mean, that's what put a battery in my back every day to you know what I mean, especially when I first came in to learn the Hebrew, because they put us in captivity and forced us to speak their language. They forced English on us. They beat English into us. They beat Christmas and Thanksgiving into us. The water. Or I'm gonna have you break it down as well, if you don't mind. If you cool with that. If you most of Christ. You know what I mean? But they beat all these things into us. They beat Christianity into us. They beat slavery into us. I mean, so this language belongs to us. Or you go ahead and break it down.
We have Yahweh. Yeah, this word.
Well, no, well, you don't want to say God. Yeah, because you know what God is, right? Like or the word that's used for God, right?
Allah.
Khan. And you don't want to use God because you know what I mean, anybody could be like anybody who is given power can be a power. So the Most High is the Most High power, but angels are powers. You know what I mean? Which are the Allah Hayyum. You know what I mean? Christ is a power, which is why the Christian church confuses Christ as being God, because he followed the Most High's orders so perfectly that they call him God. And you know what I mean? That's what happens when anything. I mean, that's what happens with anything. When you in authority, or when you in line with authority, you're called by that authority. Like when a police officer pulls you over, or when they, you know what I mean, they you know what I mean, stop a criminal. They say stop in the name of the law. Now, are they the law? You know what I mean? No, they're not like the physical letters that you see in the book or in the papers or whatever. They are the representation of the law. You know what I mean? It's like, sir.
No, I was just gonna piggyback and say, they'll also cite the law, like under the Third Amendment, you're breaking this, or you're under Article Section 5 Verse C, you're under citizen's arrest, or this arrest, or things like that, to quote the authority they have. So like,
That's the whole point. I'll give you another example. When you know what I mean, who was it? Osama bin Laden. You know what I mean? When America took his life, uh, who did they credit for taking his life? God, they said Obama got him, but who really pulled? You know what I mean? Who really got him? SEAL Team 6. But it was probably one person who actually pulled the trigger. You know what I mean? So that just shows you, when you're in line with orders that you was given, then you are called by that name. You know what I mean? So anybody could be a power if they're in line with the Most High power. That's why Christ is, well, I don't want to say that's the only reason, because the Christian church is full of snakes, but that's one of the reasons where, one of the reasons why Christians will go in that Christian church, or they'll read like, or individualites who just read their Bible at home, or individual Christians who don't go to church but they read their Bible at home. They take that Christian doctrine home with them, because they read in that Bible and they see where Christ is, you know what I mean, there he's called a power, he's called Lord, or he's called, you know what I mean, what's a good scripture where uh it says Christ being, it's like, I don't want to misquote it, but you know what I mean, all those different things that I just mentioned kind of add to the confusion of a Christian, because again, they're ill-equipped to teach the Bible, because they still teach that version of Christianity, or they still teach that Christianity that they learned from their captors in those plantation churches. You know what I mean, but you can read in several places that Christ is not the Most High. He in fact prayed to the Most High. He calls the Most High his Father, so he can't be his Father and his own Son. That's a more freaky, you know what I mean, Greco-Roman, you know what I mean. Yeah, that's and that's crazy that again, when you come out the Christian church, or when you come out the world, you got to wash the Christianity off of everything that you was taught, because Christians don't even see that. Like, you're saying, okay, so let me get this straight. So you're saying Mary, or Christ is Mary's son, but God, the Most High, got Mary pregnant. But Christ is God. So Christ, the Son, got Mary, his mother, pregnant and had himself. Like, Christians don't even see how disgusting that is. But that's Christianity.
Salakia, to call back to what you said earlier, you had me at snakes with feet and apples and stuff. I'm believing whatever you tell me, I guess.
That's again why the Christian church is ill-equipped to teach the Bible. You know what I mean? Go ahead and you go ahead and finish breaking that. So Yahweh is the Most High. God, messenger, power, or authority is a different word. Allah. So we covered that. And that could be, Allah could mean a man, or it could be referring to it could be referring to well, it's referring to a angel or messenger from the Most High. Go ahead.
And the second word that we have right here is shamar,
Uh-huh.
which means to watch.
Con. So shamar means watch. All right. So Yahweh Shamar, the Most High watch.
Like then Alathan is so like over. Yeah, over. So like yeah.
Isle.
Isle.
Isle is over.
Isle is over.
Con. So you put Alathan. Alathan. It's I. And it's Isle and Utha, the same Utha that you used in the brother salute. So instead of oh yeah, I told you he was a Hebrew scholar. I'm trying to tell brothers. So Isle is over. Isle by itself is over. Yeah, Utha, the same Utha. Oh, I see what you got this all backwards. So the lucky.
Oh, okay then.
Yahweh Shamar Isle is one word.
Oh, okay.
Isle means over. And then Atha. So what we saying? I know we say it fast. We saying Yahweh Shamar Isle Atha. I know we say Yahweh Shamar Isle Atha by Shemya. I know we say it fast, but it's Isle Atha. It's not Alatha. Alatha. I see the confusion. So Oh wait, let me make sure I ain't tripping. Oh no, I think you right. Yeah, I think you was right with what you had, Salaki. And I think a ha at the end. So I'll Atha. Or I think you were right without the ha. And then Yahweh Shamar Alatha. Then when was the last time you greeted a sister? What'd you say? Uh-huh. No, by Hashem Yahushua. That's how you end it. Yahweh Shamar Alatha by Hashem Yahushua. The same by Hashem from the last salute. By Hashem. And then when you as you write the last part, when you learning or teaching or reading the Hebrew or doing anything rather, like what I mean, when you of course there's milk scriptures. I'll give it a little bit start like right here. So, but what I mean, there's milk when you learning the scriptures, when you learning to be a teacher. But as you attend class, when you in scripture breakdown with General Muhammad, when you're in classes with men above you, you're gonna learn some new things. You're gonna go a little bit deeper. It's gonna compound on the milk. But as you're learning, never forget what you already know. Learning something new, and that's one thing. That's gonna be heavy for you to understand, especially when you learning and teaching the Lashawan Qadash, because everything that you're gonna learn and teach in the Lashawan Qadash is gonna stem from what you already know. So I don't know if you remember, but when we first started or when you first got here, we was heavy reviewing. I think we reviewed this about 4 or 5 times. The prepositions, possessives, and the tenses. We wrote it over and over and over and over again. The characters and the pictographs rather, and each word that pertains to each pictograph. We went over those basics over and over and over again, because when you read in Bible Hub, you're going to be compounding on this. You're going to be using these same 4 steps over and over and over and over again. The same, and when we break this down, it's going to be those 4 steps, like Ba Hashem. Like, for example, go ahead and break down Ba Hashem. Right, and that's going to pretty much illustrate the point. All right, so break it down as if you were teaching. Like, teach me, Baba Kashai. I'm pastor such and such. I ain't gonna say pastor because pastor nasty.
Kind of one kind. So the ba, that will be a preposition. And her, it's like the ba will be a preposition.
Right.
And the, well, the her as in the.
Which is what?
So like, it's the same.
Just said it.
The ba and the ha will be a preposition for the root for the possessive sh. Sloggy.
La, I'm gonna help you out. There's no possessive here.
Kind of one kind.
So you said ba and ha are prepositions.
Kind of one kind.
Ba means in, ha means the.
Kind of one kind.
Which leaves what?
Leaves the root word.
Right. Kind. And that's all you're doing. When you teaching, you're just teaching what you was taught. You're just teaching what you know. You know what I mean? Which is what you was taught. You know what I mean? So that whenever you teaching anything, whether you teaching Lashawan Qadash, whether you teaching brotherhood class, law class, scripture breakdown, whatever you teaching, when you do a Sabbath service, you just teaching what you know. So when you breaking down, like we breaking down a sister salute, you just teach what you know. You know what I mean? And this is pretty much it's really the easiest thing to go into, because we say it every day. We say it every day. So if you saying it every day to brothers and sisters, you should know. You know what I mean? So yeah, just teach what you know. So ba in, ha on, or it's like it in, ba in, ha the, shum is the root word meaning
name.
Khan. So ba Hashem, in the name. Right? And then in the name of who?
Then we have Yahawashah,
Khan.
which means it's like deliver. It's like spelling too bad, ain't too good. This is oppressive language. It's like it.
I understand. Most of them Christ.
So to be the Most High watch over in the name of Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashah.
Watch over who?
Oh, so like us. Well, no, you. So like you.
So this right here. This is over. This is you.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. So, Yahweh, Most High name, Yahweh, Shamar watch, Alatha over you, Bahashem in the name, Yahweh Shai, which is Christ's name, which means he delivers, or Joshua in the Hebrew or in the English, but that's Christ's name. So Most High watch over you in the name of Christ. Right. That's the English. All right. All right. So now we know what we're saying. You know what I mean? So now we're not Yahweh without knowing what we're talking about. We're not Yahweh Shema Latham Bashim Yahweh without knowing what we're talking about. Now we know what we're saying. You know what I mean? When I say Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Brakatah, I'm asking Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless you. You know what I mean? And when I'm talking to a sister, Yahweh Shema Latham Bashim Yahweh Shai, or Alathan by Shem Yahweh Shai, I'm saying, may the Lord watch over you in the name of Christ. You know what I mean? And we say we say in the name of Christ because Christ is a mediator of the New Testament, or the new covenant. You know what I mean? Because we broke the old covenant. We're supposed to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, you know what I mean, or else we'll be cut off. And we broke them. You know what I mean? This is not anybody, you know what I mean? It's not a brother or sister that you can, you know what I mean, cross paths with that didn't break that, you know what I mean, that hasn't eaten pork, that hasn't celebrated Christmas, that hasn't worshipped another god, been a Buddhist, a Muslim, or a Hindu, or you know what I mean, or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? So we have to, you know what I mean, everything when we want to address the Lord, we say in the name of Christ, because Christ is the mediator. He's the only man born of a woman, you know what I mean, just like you and I, who didn't do any of those things. So, you know, him losing his life as an innocent man, I mean, he's the mediator between the Most High and his people who were once cut off, if not for Christ. You know what I mean? So say Yahweh, the Most High, Shamar, Yahweh Shamar Alatha, in the name of Christ, by Hashem Yahushua. All right, so that's the whole point of that. All right, let me see. All right, let me see if there's any questions. It's a lot here. Baba Kasha. I don't see any questions in the chat. Any questions in the room before we close out? We got about 15 minutes left. I see Zakar went the water, priest. You know what I mean? I pray I answer your question. I saw you I still gotta get the answer to your other question that you asked me about what was it? What was the question? I still gotta answer, or I still gotta ask about that other question you sent me. But I saw the water, sir. But I saw you ask me about the saying the salute. All right, so I just wanted to go into that. But the salute, and I'm gonna send you that voice note as well so that you have it. But the salute, Shalom, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakatha, or Barakathum if I'm talking to multiple people, multiple brothers. And then for sisters is Shalom, Yahweh, Shamar, Ilatha, or Ilathun. You know what I mean? When you're talking to multiple sisters, it's a thun, not a thumb. Like a lot of brothers say a thumb. But when you say a thumb and you're talking to sisters, it's incorrect. But Yahweh, Shamar, Ilathun, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. All right. With that, you know what I mean, we're going to end the class right there. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers with the Vizra Majum, which means to stand. Majum Shabbat, Majum, Barak, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakathum, Yaji Matah, Sar. We're going to turn our face to sisters, give a courtesy salute to the sisters. The Vizra Majum Shabbat, Majum, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Yaji Matah. Class dismissed.